Let's dive into the first type of signaling pathway, which is the GPCR mediated cyclic AMP signaling pathway. So this is a most common type of signaling pathway, which is very important, and at the same time it is very easy because it doesn't have so many proteins names to remember, so it is the easiest of them all. So you can see a GPCR over here. This is a GPCR, right? This is a GPCR. When the ligand is bound to the GPCR, the G protein gets activated, which was previously inactivated. So this is a G protein which is having three subunits, largest being alpha, beta and gamma. Gamma and alpha are associated with the plasma membrane. Beta is not directly associated with the plasma membrane. Now G alpha is a subunit which is important. It is bounded with GTP, but when the ligand is bind on the GPCR, the GPCR's conformation gets changed, right? Its conformation gets changed. You can see the loop is getting larger in size so that it can easily interact with the GTP, a alpha subunit of a G protein. So it gets conformation gets changed. The GPCR gets activated, and after the activation of a GPCR, it leads to the activation of G protein by removing this GDP and binding the G alpha subunit with a GTP. Now this dissociates after binding with GTP. It's active and it dissociates from the gamma and beta subunit, and then it went on further to activate the another effector molecule. So the molecule through which G protein directly interacts will be known as effector molecule or effector protein. So this is an effector molecule known as AC or adenylyl cyclase. It is having some transmembrane portions. Membrane bound hota hai ye enzyme. It is a membrane bound enzyme. It is having a transmembrane portion and some cytosolic portion. So what happens is G protein, or the alpha, specifically we will say the alpha subunit of the G protein, which was GTP bounded, it activates the adenylyl cyclase. And what adenylyl cyclase performs, it converts ATP into cyclic AMP, right? Upon activation, upon getting activated, AC converts ATP into cyclic AMP. Once cyclic AMP is activated, what will happen is it will activate another molecule which is known as pKa, right? So it will activate another molecule which is known as pKa. pKa is a protein kinase, right? It is a protein kinase. And what a protein kinase do? It phosphorylates proteins on specific amino acid. And what type of protein kinase it is? It is a serine threonine protein kinase. So what is a serine threonine protein kinase? Suppose if this is a protein, then pKa will phosphorylate this protein on the serine threonine residues of this protein, right? If there is a protein having so many amino acids, what protein kinase will do, what protein kinase A will do, protein kinase A, it will perform signaling, it will perform the phosphorylation of a protein on threonine amino acids. Okay, so what happens is, if you will see look at the structure of pKa, you will see that it is a tetramerase protein, right? It is a tetramerase protein with two regulatory subunits and two catalytic subunits, right? It is a tetramerase protein with two regulatory subunits and two catalytic subunits. The cyclic AMP gets binded to the regulatory subunit, right? It will bind to the regulatory subunit, and it will, on binding of cyclic AMP to regulatory subunit, the catalytic subunit get activated, right? The catalytic subunits get activated, okay? and then these catalytic subunits which are activated, they will move into further to phosphorylation. This pKa, what this pKa does, it moves into the nucleus. There is a protein in the nucleus which is known as CREB protein, or cyclic AMP response element binding protein, right? So cyclic AMP response element binding protein, it is a type of protein which resides in the nucleus, so it is a nuclear protein, right? And pKa will phosphorylate this cyclic AMP response element binding protein on its serine threonine amino acids, being a kinase. Okay, so active pKa phosphorylates this CREB, and then this CREB will bind to the promoter of cyclic AMP response element, right? This is a gene segment, right? This is your DNA, and it works as an activator. So what CREB do, it works as an activator. It binds to the promoter, right? It binds to the promoter, which is known as CRE, cyclic AMP response element, and then it expresses that genes for cyclic AMP response element, right? So this is right. So let's suppose this is your plasma membrane, and we have a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So this is our GPCR, right? This is, what is this? This is GPCR. It is having membrane spanning domain and some hydrophilic domains as well. This is your outside of the cell, which is extracellular matrix, and this is the cytosol of the cell. When the ligand binds on, right? When a ligand binds, the conformation of G changed, and it gets activated, right? It gets activated, and on activation, what it does, we know that here is a G protein which is having an alpha subunit, which is the largest. Then it is having a gamma subunit, and with gamma there is a beta subunit. So what happens is, first we know that when there was no ligand bounded to GPCR, the alpha subunit was having GDP. So the G protein was inactive, or the signaling pathway was off, right? It was inactive. Once the ligand has bound and the GPCR gets activated, now the GDP is removed, right? And the GTP is bound over here. The GDP is removed and GTP is bound, and then the G protein gets activated, right? The G protein gets activated. This is the G protein. It gets activated, and upon activation, what happens is this G alpha dissociates, right? This G alpha dissociates from beta gamma complex, and it performs its effector functions by interacting with another protein known as adenylyl cyclase. Okay, so this G alpha then will go to adenylyl cyclase, activates it. Adenylyl cyclase, upon activation, by its hydrophilic domain, what it does, it interacts with cyclic AMP. It converts the AMP into cyclic AMP, right? It leads to the generation of a cyclic AMP, and once cyclic AMP is generated, it will perform its functions. And what is its function? Its function is to activate pKa molecule, right? pKa activation. Okay, how pKa is activated? We have seen that pKa is a tetramerase molecule. It is having 2 regulatory subunits, 2 catalytic subunits. Cyclic MP, if this is cyclic MP, it will bind to the regulatory subunit and the catalytic subunits get activated, okay, and then these catalytic subunits will move to perform its effector function, which is to activate proteins by phosphorylating them on their serine and threonine amino acid residues. Okay, so it activates a protein by phosphorylating them on their serine threonine amino acid residues, and one such type of proteins is present inside the nucleus. So if this is the nucleus, right, if this is a nucleus, let's suppose the nucleus, this pKa, catalytic pKa, activated pKa, it is activated, or it is catalytic, it is activated, it will move into the nucleus. There it will meet another protein which is known as cyclic AMP response element binding protein, right, which works as an activator, to activate certain genes which are called by the signaling of cyclic MP. So this will bind on the DNA which is present over here at the cyclic response element. It is a promoter sequence, right? It is a promoter sequence for the gene expression. It is a promoter sequence for the gene expression mediated by cyclic MP, right? So once this PK interacts with this CREB, it phosphorylates the CREB on serine threonine residues. And once the CREB protein is phosphorylated on serine threonine residues, it will get activated, and then this activated CREB protein is going to bind on the promoter element and leads to the expression of genes expressed in response of a cyclic MP signaling. So this is your response, and this is a GPCR mediated cyclic MP PK signaling pathway. Okay, so in this pathway you have to remember some things, that when a ligand bind, what activates, you have to remember everything step by step. So I hope this has cleared the first signaling pathway of GPCR. In next class we will discuss the IP3 signaling, which is very easy. Okay, so do let me know if you are having any problem in this, and if you understood it, then it's good. So yes, thanks for watching it.